The African Finance Corporation, was established with a clear mandate to address Africa's infrastructure deficit and challenging operating environment by developing and financing infrastructure, natural resource and industrial assets that will improve productivity and enhance economic growth of African states.
From day one, we had the privilege of having a public and a private sector combination. And the reason was it allowed public sector support to be combined with private sector rigor, and that allowed a great cross-pollination of ideas, priorities, experiences, networks, so that the institution could benefit from a wider stakeholder support.
AFC was created by a treaty among African states, and from that particular point, it positioned AFC to be a preferred partner in supporting and assisting African governments in developing their infrastructure across the continent. However, what makes it different from other interactions is the fact when it comes to the shareholding with the corporation, African governments recognize the need to actually have private sector participation that will bring efficiency, innovation, in particular sector knowledge that will ensure sustainability of the investment that will be done across the continent.
PIC is one of the largest asset managers in the continent. We invest across a number of asset classes. Infrastructure is one of those. Our exposure to infrastructure in the continent is growing. As a result, when we assessed a number of players, AFC became one of the leading infrastructure players in investing in infrastructure within the continent.
AFC shares the same vision and has been economically active in Egypt with a key focus on working with local private and public sponsors, while also delivering transformational track record across the continent. We have also witnessed the corporation's ability to quickly mobilize on key infrastructure and industrial projects of national importance.
Importance of a partnership between us and international financial institutions is the recent approval of the Green Climate Fund of $240 million equity investment in our Infrastructure Climate Resilient Fund, which is a fund that seeks to incorporate climate risk in physical infrastructure build. And that is a way of us trying to ensure that the infrastructure that we build on the continent, can withstand the impact of climate change.
AFC has already identified immediate projects pipeline worth over $1 billion in critical infrastructure across key sectors in Egypt, including renewables, energy, natural gas, and heavy industries.
The work we've done in developing to de-risk opportunities across the continent, got us an award recently. We were awarded DFI of the Year 2022 for Europe and Africa, which is significant because, all the other DFIs are operating in Europe and Africa. And for us to get that award, demonstrates, what we do and how well we've been doing that.
For our charter, we will always make sure that the public-private partnership continues, and we will also make sure that we bring in as wide a diversity of our shareholder base, diversity in terms of other forms of private sector capital that's available on the continent, and also diversity in terms of bringing in on a selective basis key non-African shareholders that come from regions and countries that have a huge strategic relevance for Africa. And therefore, a partnership can be created as opposed to just a pure financial relationship.
Our job is to find ways to accelerate development impact. And we come to that with a conviction that we have a critical role to play in the development of our continent.
AFC's investment is one of the best investments we have in our portfolio today. We are proud to be the second largest shareholders of AFC after the Central Bank of Nigeria. And the dividend is good, the future is good, and we bet on AFC at any point in time.